I don't want 50% off you. I want 100%.
But relationships are 50-50 last I checked.
No, it's not.
Okay. So what do you mean?
Up until recently, I thought so too, until I met someone that kind of put a different spin on it. If everything is 50-50, then what do I do with the other 50 that's left from me?
You pour into yourself, no?
No. In order for me to maintain a good relationship with you, I already come having a decent relationship with myself, knowing my flaws, knowing my strengths and weaknesses. So yes, I used to say 50-50, but 50-50 comes in different forms, which is why I don't like that phrase anymore. I prefer, I'm giving 100% of myself to you, and I expect 100% in return.
Now, there are times when I feel like we are depleted for whatever reason, whether it be stress or it be the toll that life sometimes takes on you. So when you say 100%, are you saying that I have to show up every day as my best self, despite what I'm feeling, going through, and experiencing?
Yep.
Okay.
It's necessary.
And what happens when we fall short? Because we all do at some point.
Yeah, but you can't get up and expect that you're going to fall short. You should try to show up 100%. Yes, you're entitled to a sick day every once in a while, but this is work. Relationships is based on what both parties put in, not what one party expects of the other and fall short of not doing themselves.
And relationships are not a sum total of experiences. It's each experience at a time. Because you can't say, oh, I've been good to you for the last 5 months, therefore the next 2 I could be an asshole. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so from that perspective, I fully agree. You have to give all that you can every day. Now, sometimes, depending on life, depending on situations, depending on feelings and or experiences, there are going to be days where my 100% that I think is giving 100% to you might feel like 80. And what do we do in that? In
those moments, I got to realize or see what else is happening. But in that 80 is you giving 100% of your time. I think sometimes we hear the numbers and we think, okay, then you're shortchanging me certain things. I don't think that is the case. If I have back issues and back pains today, you can't expect me to bend down and clean.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
Whatever. But doesn't negate the fact that we have a child, and whether you're out of town at working or whatever, I still have to fulfill my duties as a parent.
I think that's interesting because I think as parents, we would always say you have to give 100% every day because your kid needs to be taken care of. And I think it's interesting that in relationships, we sometimes view it differently. Right. So why is it? So now I'm kind of backtracking what I said before. As a parent, I don't get to give my kid 50%. I have to give him 100%. And whether it was one child or 4 children.
But that 100% is an idea.
It's an ideal.
And it is you putting in the work and knowing that I'm doing the best I can in the moment that I can. Versus I provide a roof over your head. What are you complaining about? No. A kid has needs, or a child has needs.
Your spouse has needs too.
And yeah, but
I'm not talking about me. I'm
knowing what your spouse needs versus what the spouse wants, that's the other thing. You need me to be 100% present. You want me to be available.
Cater to me. Let me cater to you.
And that's not possible
all the time.
At all times.
So you're saying 100% is giving the relationship what it absolutely needs to thrive, not necessarily doing everything that I want you to do for me.
Yeah, because sometimes we get caught up in what the future looks like versus being present.
Sometimes we get caught up with just our own egos and our own selfish human desires that we sometimes we place an expectation on each other, even if we don't realize it. So for example, you would expect me, maybe not anymore because I haven't done it in a while, but you would expect me to see dishes in the sink, and you see that, why not just tend to it right now? Because you're right in front of the sink, the tap is on, you're washing something out to then use it, why not just wash what's in the sink? I might say to myself, you see the laundry in the hamper, why don't you just wheel it into the laundry room and do it? So that's what we would want to have happen. Mm-hmm. However, when I come home, if I'm traveling for work, my kid is taken care of, our dog is taken care of, you have had a meal on the table when I come home. Those are the things that I need. I might want you to do the laundry, but if you don't...
But doesn't mean that I can't. But there are certain things in being together almost 16 years.
16 years.
There are certain things that it becomes your duty.
Duty?
In the relationship.
What would you mean duty?
Because I know from day one, took me about 2 or 3 years to get over that expectation of you washing dishes.
I don't do dishes.
But understanding that you have a sensory issue with the soap, I could say,
Can I just say?
What?
When food is on that plate and it's in the sink, even if you scrape it out, I do not want to touch any sort of food remains on a... But yes, thank you so much for washing the dishes. It's very helpful, so I don't have to do it. But I'll do laundry though, I hate the way you fold.
But the idea is, whether you were in a relationship with someone or not, you should know how to do these things for yourself. So it's not because I can't do it, I choose not to, because what makes the relationship work is you would take care of the laundry because you like to fold it a certain way. Never worked. I worked in retail, but I wasn't the best at it.
I worked in retail for like 6 months.
But you became anal with the retail folding process to the fact that you bring it over. You've never been in the military.
No.
You know, even though some days you stand at attention. You know, that's a different story. but the thing is, I learned what you like and don't like, and therefore fill the need that is necessary in order for the relationship to be functional.
Yeah, but I think every relationship, as I maintain, comes with different maintenance because everyone is different.
Yeah.
But what's universal though is, as you said before, showing up for your person 100% of the time.
Even when you don't feel like it.
Even when you don't feel like it. Because the moment you do not do that, it is starting to chip away at the foundation of a healthy relationship.
Well, considering pouring into someone, right? If you're half empty, you can't pour into anybody because then you're losing from yourself. So therefore, it's necessary to make time for yourself, and whether through meditation, whether through prayer, whether through going to the gym, whether through
going outside and
having your yard work,
tending to the garden.
Lowe's, call me. I think it's necessary to have those moments to reflect and look at yourself for what it really is, and demand better from yourself, for yourself, and then you can then fulfill the expectations, which is realistic, if they're realistic, from your partner. Because sometimes partners can have unrealistic expectation.
What unrealistic expectations do you believe, or have you experienced?
And whether it's, when I'm ready for sex, you should be ready at all times. When I'm ready to eat, you should eat at the same time. I think negotiating and what is a reasonable amount of sexual encounter with each other.
I think reasonable expectations
is different for everybody.
For everyone.
But also dinner time. You know, what does family dinner looks like versus...
Well, you have a thing, and not just you, it's not a you thing, but you have the strong belief that dinner time should happen every night together. Because it is
as much as
possible. Because it helps to create familial memories, a bond, and it demonstrates for our son what love looks like.
Yeah.
Right?
And he also gets to have our undivided attention. And whether it's me doing the yard work and don't have time to really have that conversation with him about how you're feeling, how is your day, how, you know, so dinner time is when you spend time with each other and pour into each other spiritually, versus I got to send this email for work. I'm still not finished with the project.
It took me a long time to learn that. I'm still learning. And as I can't say the provider, because that's, you provide in very different ways than I provide.
Yeah.
But as the person who is the breadwinner, so to speak.
Breadwinner for the most part.
For the most part. I have a different set of responsibilities to make sure that
but even
we're all taken
when,
care of.
even when both of us were breadwinners, in the sense of I worked a 9 to 5 or 3 to 11, and you worked your 8 to whatever, 8 to 6, 7, 9,
7
10.
to 9 p.m. all the time.
I think you're a worrywart, even when it's not necessary.
I worry about
And
everything.
I think learning to have a balance in expectation from your own self.
Well, let me tell you why I worry. I worry because we both made a commitment and a promise to take care of each other. And that was before we even had a child. And as we look to expand our family and have more children, you have to make sure that everyone is equally taken care of. And first and foremost,
if you can't make the time for yourself, and don't tell me you want to.
Well, that's hard.
One of the things I'm pissed off in the past about is you telling me, "Oh, I need to unwind watching TV or whatever."
I love myself some Wendy Williams, even though she's,
whatever.
It's been canceled, but
God bless you, Wendy. You've served your purpose, and hopefully you have many more years on the planet to serve for others as well. But my feeling is this: you can't lock yourself away saying, "I need my time" or "me time," when your family's in the other room wanting your time. And I
where the
think
balance comes into play.
it has to be a balance where once the kid is gone to bed, then you have an hour or so to be in your time, or we have our time together where we spend time, again, pouring into, checking in, and making sure the pulse of the relationship is on beat versus, is there something bothering you from work? Is there something bothering you?
And sometimes I carry over
And I think
frustrations at work.
those things needs to be monitored.
Right.
So I can't necessarily monitor your every single feelings because I'm not you to feel what you feel. But in you checking in on yourself to going, okay, I'm pissed off for some reason. Where's that coming from? Because sometimes it's not me.
Pick somebody else. Pick somebody else.
But sometimes it's not me, or it's not necessarily you, but it's something that triggers me during the day or triggers you during the day that hours later you're still dealing with that. So I think it's necessary to be always present so that we can be present for each other and for Timothy.
Cheers to 100-100 or not 50-50.
You better be.